Hi there, Bonnie Power here. So we're back with step 2 of the 5-step process that will help your professional services organisation to really start attracting new high quality leads on LinkedIn over the next 6 to 12 months. The second step is to really start positioning yourself as an expert. And when I say yourself, I'm assuming that I'm actually talking with the key person, the person who wants to be the face of the company. Your profile is the one that's going to be looked at the most when people are considering using the company's services. So it's imperative that you really start to create a strong LinkedIn profile that shows that you've got the skills and the expertise and the passion to really drive the business forward over the next 5 to 10 years. Because clients want to have that confidence, and also you never know, opportunities come up all the time on LinkedIn. There's media look at your LinkedIn profile, looking at your company. Joint venture partners look at your LinkedIn, and the investors or potential investors, or if you're wanting to get funding, they all look at this. So it's really important to position yourself as someone who is highly credible, who's passionate about the industry, and who has original views and really a prominent figure within your sort of section of the industry. So that's important. But also, in saying that, it's also important that once your profile is done, if you can please also make sure that your team also update their profiles to make sure that it's congruent and it's sort of saying the same things along the lines of what the company stands for, what you do, what type of clients you have. You might want to insert a few of the things that we'll be talking about briefly today in this video. So there's 2 or 3 different parts of the positioning. So there is your LinkedIn profile, and there are 10 elements to make sure that your profile looks fabulous and is giving a positive first impression. And those can be found. I'll give you a link at the bottom of this video. But in a nutshell, it is firstly your photo. It's got to be really professional, and it's got to be engaging. Like, it can't be one of those fake smiles that sometimes we have when we've been told to smile by a photographer. It's got to really, your photo's got to emanate warmth and the true character of who you actually are. So have a look at your photo and just think about if that's generating that feeling from a prospective client's point of view. The second one is the headline, which appears just under your photo, and that's really important for people to be able to get a quick snapshot of what you do and who you do it for. So have a look at that. You can have a look at my LinkedIn profile, my headline. In that point, it's really important to use the keywords, because that's a really high SEO area that if you say that you are, insert the keywords of what your prospective client would search for on LinkedIn to find someone like you, they're the words that you need to put into your headline. And there's also all these cool symbols that you can just cut and paste from my profile or other profiles. They're impossible to do any other way. So it really makes your profile stand out when it's in a long search result list. So I've got lots of training on that, so that's what we specialise in here at Perfect Boom. But just for the purposes of this, you need to make sure that that's done. The summary of your LinkedIn profile doesn't say what your job functions are and who you're responsible for and all of that sort of stuff. It's not a resume. You are here to get leads off LinkedIn. That is the key objective. So you are going to write your summary in a way that's going to really encourage your prospective client to want to pick up the phone and speak with someone in your office about your services, or at the very least, maybe you've got a call to action, like maybe you've got a download of a document, maybe you've got like a 20-point checklist on the things to look for, or an auditing checklist or something like that. That's a good first step that will help them to learn and get to know you a bit better, and also get you, allow you to start showing your expertise. So in the summary section, I like to really chunk it up into headlines, because headlines, people are on mobile phones now and they haven't got time, or they don't want to read big chunks of text. So you've got to really break it up And you've got to think like a prospective client and think, what sort of information should I put in there that's going to help them feel confident that I am someone who is worth pursuing as far as my services. So there's questions like, what do we do? Why do we do it? Our niche industries, and then you might have client feedback as some of the headlines that you would put into your summary section. The next section, so if that sounds really good, the next section is the experience section. And people don't often go all the way down, scroll down to look at your experience, but some people do, like especially the people who are thinking about spending, $100,000 with you. So, and there's always someone in a company who's doing their due diligence, the person who's got lots of attention to detail and has got, has made the time to make sure that their company is going to make the right decision on who to hire, who to outsource their services to, or their market, professional services to. So you need to really think, if they're looking at my experience section, they are very interested. And so what you want to do then is show them the scope of clients that you work with in your experience section. Talk about the type of results that you've generated for those clients, and if possible, in measurable terms. So you've got like percentage of increased efficiencies, or the amount of revenue that you've helped them save, or what percentage you helped grow the company, and you want to show that you deliver results, because unfortunately there's a lot of people who say that they do stuff and they claim to do all these things, but they don't actually produce results. It's all just fluff and marketing. So what you need to do is demonstrate that you are one of those few percentage in your market that actually generate results. And the best way to do that is by giving a quick overview of a possible case study that you've actually got in your one of your files on your computer anyway. Just give a really brief synopsis in your experience section. And then what you could also do is refer people on if they're interested, have those case studies available as articles on your LinkedIn profile to really back it up. That would be another big tick on your profile if you can do case studies as an article. So what we'll do is, once you've done that, obviously if you've got, education, if you're on a board, if you've done voluntary work, if you're really passionate about a particular cause, it's good to put that in there as well, because people really love to see, the whole person. And if they see that you are a big, you donate to a particular cause and they happen to really like that cause as well, they can't help but feel a degree of warmth towards you. So and it helps start the conversation as well. Like when they do pick up the phone, it won't be about the business, it'll be something that's sort of an icebreaker, and they'll go down and perhaps we'll talk about that. So that's the profile. There's those skills and endorsements that you do need to make sure are in a good order, and I would love for you to make sure you've got at least 2 or 3 recommendations over the last 12 months, if you can, for people who are representing the types of businesses or the types of organisations that you want to attract more of over the next 12 months. So if you want to attract more, businesses who have got like maybe 50 to 100 staff and who are in a particular industry, then if you can please see if you can start getting some recommendations from past clients who fit that criteria, so that then they can, prospective clients can then say, she's already worked in my industry, or he's already got proven results working in a company very similar to mine. I'm now very interested. So if you can start collecting at least 3 that are representing the ideal type of client that you want to get more of, that would be awesome. Then it's once you've done that, that's the step 1, is to do the profile, and the step 2 is to start building awesome content. And the content is what's going to separate the wheat from the chaff. So this is where you, as an expert, as someone who's probably had 15 to 25 years of experience in your industry, you really want to start showing your ideal type of clients the breadth of knowledge, the scope of experience. And the best way to do that is to really get structured with your content. Don't just outsource the content to someone who's just going to do it for SEO, and they charge $50 a post, and it's all going to be crappy content like most of the other people are doing in the industry. What I want you to do is start to think about your framework for how you help a client go from where they are now to where they want to be, and start to, perhaps there's like 5 steps. And what I'd love you to do is maybe just create a mind map. And I've got a mind map that I might show in the attachment documents. You can just do it on a big piece of paper, or there's mind mapping software. But the thing is that you want to brain dump it and make it a logical sequence so that you're helping your prospective clients see your overview in like a big helicopter, 30,000 foot view of what you believe in, what your methodology is. And when they see that in your content and they see you talking about it, then they will start to get really comfortable with your work, really familiar with your processes. And so when they do make that contact with you, the questions aren't going to be, trying to work out whether you know what you're doing. You've already proven that in the content that you've created. It's the conversation then moves to the next level, and they're thinking, how can you apply your knowledge to me and my particular situation? Because everyone really does feel that they've got a unique situation. So then they want a more personalised conversation. Straight away, the conversation just gets elevated. So yeah, there's so much with positioning. This is like one of my favourite steps in the whole of the 5 steps, because it's, I think, so important. So if you get this right, you've almost got it nailed. You're almost going to attract people just based on doing this alone. So and now I've got some tips here: the A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H of the tips. So this is articulating. A is for articulating the results you've delivered through the testimonials and case studies, which we've just talked about. B is for building your first degree connections with your perfect type of client or JV partner, which we'll talk about more in the next step. The C is to create goodwill with your audience by sharing your high quality content. And D is to demonstrate your excellence by showing any awards that you've won, so any business awards or details of the relevant projects. Then E is for expressing your opinions and general recommendations on industry issues. And this is good, you've got the groups section. So if you find there is a particular group, and groups aren't really that popular anymore on LinkedIn, but if there is something where there are meaningful discussions actually still taking place, then you can go in there and you can really exercise your freedom to communicate your opinions, and that will help you stand out as a thought leader. And similarly with people's articles, you can express your ideas, your thoughts, your gratitude for other people posting on LinkedIn, and that means that your whole network will see that, and you'll also develop more opportunities and build relationships as you do it. F is to find the partners and colleagues to share your best content. So sometimes if you write a really good piece of content, you can actually send a private message to a few people who really love what you do, and you ask them to actually share it and maybe comment on it. So you can really do like strategic, supporting of each other, like you become your own support network. And if they write an article or do anything on social media, you can help support them as well. So it's just about really amplifying your content. G is for getting an emotional connection by showing the passion you have for your clients. And this is through the essence of your content. So this is about not creating cold content that everyone else is doing. This is about actually showing the warmth and the passion that you have to help your target market move from, the problems that they've got right now, where they are right now, to through that process of providing your services so they arrive at an awesome solution. They've got a great new future because of you. So if you show your emotional connection through the content, that'll keep your prospective clients knowing that you really are interested in actually helping them rather than you just building your business. H is for help your audience to see the value you provide by sharing your IP, which is exactly what we've been talking about. So that's just a little fun thing that I did one day. I thought it might help. I will see you in the next step. Thank you.